Yo, what's good? I'm just it's your boy Modera 28. Uh quiet Thursday afternoon. Wife is at work. Child is downstairs with the aunt, so I just decided I'd get on here and offer my 2 cents about One Piece. Thus far, uh, kind of a response to Dustin and a bit of the community, but obviously not heated or anything like that. Just offering my 2 cents on the whole Wano discussion and everything like that. I mean, I understand the complaint about how it's kind of slow, how it's still kind of building up. Uh, but at the same time, it's like we've been reading One Piece for how long? This is kind of Oda's formula. And honestly, the arc feels a lot like Skypiea to me because Skypiea started off really, really slow. So did Thriller Bark. They weren't arcs that jumped in your face. There have been only a few arcs that I can think of that kind of started off kind of quick, where you got the motive in the beginning, and that was the Davy back arc. But that was like a small, inconsequential arc, really. Yeah, it had Aokiji, aka Kuzan, inside of it, but it wasn't something that kind of like jumped off, from the beginning. We found out who Foxy was. We knew what he was trying to do. He wanted to take one of the Straw Hat members. That's what he did. With Wano, Oda has already said he's already kind of set a precedent for it, that this arc is supposed to be bigger than Marineford. It's supposed to be a huge arc. It's supposed to be a grand arc. He's actually been on record saying that it's going to make Marineford look cute. It's going to make Marineford look like minor leagues. And so I understand, again, that it started off kind of slow. The first couple of chapters haven't been really very exciting, except for maybe the clash, small skirmish between Luffy and Zoro versus Hawkins and his group. We saw Zoro in the first kind of Wano chapter, seppuku, when he cut the house with the blade, and we found out where Zoro, Frankie, Robin, and Usopp and them were all doing while waiting for Luffy and them to get there. And again, I understand the complaint that has been kind of slow, and again, not really offering an excuse for it. But how long have we been reading this? I understand that some people came in and they bulk read One Piece. They didn't, they either read it manga or they watched the anime. And when you're watching and reading in rapid succession, you're not digesting a lot of stuff. You're kind of just, okay, let me get through this. Especially if you kept caught up in Dressrosa, where I think that's where Dustin caught up at. I don't want to be incorrect. If I am incorrect, feel free to correct me, bro. But and I'm not saying that since he bulk read, then he can't really digest stuff. But what I'm saying is that my experience reading One Piece is way different from a lot of people, because I began reading One Piece back all the way in 2004, if not sooner. I believe it was actually 2003. When it was on that, I forget the defunct manga website it was on. I think it was 1 p.m. or something like that. When we got the rough skins on it, we had the rough, cleaning jobs done. You can go and look at them on Manga Panda. They're very rough. Back in the day, right around the Luffy versus Crocodile fight. And so, again, I understand where Dustin's coming from, to where this arc, Wano, is kind of starting off slow. But again, it's typically how every Oda arc starts. With My Hero, their arcs are kind of short. And so, overall, have I really enjoyed the last few arcs of My Hero? Yes. Endeavor versus High End was was epic. I was upset at certain points. I mean, this is a spoiler video, so if you haven't caught up to My Hero yet, don't watch this video. Go and catch up. But I was upset at first when Endeavor was losing to High End, because I was like, man, dude, you're losing against a Nomu. like on the real, like, you're losing against a Nomu. you're losing up against not a fodder character, but kind of, kind of a fodder character, But by the end of that fight, we saw how strong Endeavor was. We saw him go plus ultra, and so it was very nice. My problem with My Hero is the treatment of certain characters, aka the female characters. They don't really get a lot of showcase in a lot of the fights. For instance, we had the Shisaki arc overhaul when we went to his hideout when we fought him, and we had Ochiko was there, Froppy. We even had a female in the top 10, and we got to see Deku show out. Kirishima got to show out. Lemillion fought the main bad guy, even though he was going to end up losing. Lemillion fought him. Night Eye got to show out. Obviously, Night Eye would get to show out because he was going to die. But when it came to the females kind of showing out, you don't really get to see them fight a lot in My Hero. And I know, obviously, My Hero is a shonen. Shonens are directed towards boys. This is not a shoujo. But at the same time, Horikoshi is such an interesting author because he kind of bucks a lot of the stereotypes of shonen. Deku is smart. He's calculating. A lot of shonen characters aren't like that. Luffy, for instance, is not smart. He's not calculating. He just jumps in. Goku wasn't an idiot, but Goku was naive. He wouldn't pay attention. That's why he died, even though and that's why he died when the androids came, and that's why he was going to die again because he didn't take the medicine that Trunks gave him. And so when you see Deku's smart. Deku is calculating. Deku, he has his own journal, his own notebook where he's taking all these notes. So that's an interesting thing about Deku. But the problem, as I've said, that I've had with My Hero, and I've told Dustin inside of his streams, is that I want to see what these side characters can do. I want to see what the rest of Class A can do. And I should know these names, but I don't. So forgive me. I just kind of call them by the nicknames that I know them by. I know Sero, Tape Boy, Jiro. She has the sound jacking ability. But then you have characters like Sugar Boy and Boy who can talk to animals. And yes, we're seeing them in this first fight with a clash of 1A versus 1B. And I'm hoping for in-depth. Obviously, I don't think it's going to be as in-depth as Kirishima and Fat Gum versus Shisaki's two grunts that they fought and that they went plus ultra against. But I am looking, if you're going to have these characters inside the same class as Deku in them, as Deku, Todoroki, Bakugo, Ida, I don't want them to get the Naruto treatment to where, okay, Naruto Part 1, they got some shine. And obviously, My Hero is not at that point yet. But because I think Naruto Part 1 ended at chapter 227. And so, but you get these characters, and I just don't want them just to be there for filler's sake. Oh, I need characters for character's sake. As again, Horikoshi is such a good author that he goes against standards that most authors play into stereotypes. Like as much as I like Black Clover, and as much as different and great as it is, Ass is an idiot. It's like typical shonen main character. He's an idiot. And so with, again, Horikoshi, he has an opportunity here to show out for the female characters, to show out for Suyu, for Shido, for Momo to get more shine than even what she got when her and Todoroki fought Eraserhead. And so I'm looking at it and I'm excited, but trying to compare the first 195 chapters of My Hero to the 195 chapters of One Piece is really hard because the cast in One Piece, I mean, obviously at that point, it was just Luffy, Zoro, Nami, Usopp, Sanji, Chopper, and that was it at that point. We Robin would be joining at the end of that arc, but not officially until Water 7. Frankie didn't come until Water 7, and then obviously Brooke. into the bark. But I mean, the difference is that I mean, if we're talking about emotional depth, I lean towards One Piece having more emotional depth than My Hero. I say my hero's most emotional part, besides All Might versus All for One, and maybe the death of Night Eye, or even again this last arc with Endeavor. I mean, obviously the Nami flashback with Bellemere and her sister Nojiko, really impactful. And again, my hero does have his moments. You know, I didn't like Deku in the beginning because he had the same type of feeling that I got from Eren Yeager. I didn't like Eren Yeager in Attack on Titan because he was an annoying main character, cried and whined a lot. But I understood Deku a lot more than I could understand Eren Yeager. The problem, and there really isn't a problem with my hero. I mean, obviously, my hero does have emotional moments. We got to see Todoroki's backstory when he fought Deku in the sports exam, and then you know that fight is probably top 5 fights of the entire series thus far. You got Todoroki's backstory. We know about Bakugo. You even got to see Bakugo's insight, and you got to see what made him tick after after All Might fought All for One, because he felt it was his fault that All Might had to retire. You know, if he hadn't been there, All Might could have probably ended that fight against All for One earlier than what he did, and so. But comparing the first 195 chapters, I mean, One Piece, the East Blue arc, I'd probably say Sanji's arc, the Baratier arc was probably the best, because you got to see Sanji and Chef Zeph eating his own leg and giving Sanji the rest of the food, and they were basically on that rock for almost a good month before a ship finally came by and got them. I mean, that right there, like emotional death. I'm not saying that it trounces everything in My Hero, but it does put the scales a lot more in One Piece's favor. But your enjoyment is really up to you. Like, I can't question Dustin's enjoyment of My Hero over One Piece, because if he generally enjoys it more than he enjoys One Piece, then that's his opinion, and you know, and that's who he is. So I can't argue that for a fact that One Piece was better outright. Obviously, One Piece is way further ahead of My Hero, 915 to 195. You kind of really can't compare the two directly. Yes, you can compare chapter by chapter, week by week, because they're both weekly series. So are you enjoying One Piece more weekly, or are you enjoying My Hero? Obviously, I have been enjoying My Hero a little bit more weekly, simply because we just got out of one of the best fights in My Hero. Again, Endeavor versus High End. Dope fight. But even One Piece, we just got out of the Reverie arc, which I mean, it was a lot of blue balling. I'm not even going to lie, it was. But that's still set up for the overall story. You know, let's look at Ace versus Blackbeard. That happened at the end of Water 7. We didn't get the what the real implications were until at the end of Amazon Lily. That's when Luffy found out Ace was going to be executed. So then that set that all up, and that happened in 2007, and we didn't get Impel Down until 2010. So that was 3 years in the making for that setup. And obviously there are things that Horikoshi has set up, like even right now, Deku seeing the previous users of One for All and the 2 shadowed figures. Obviously that's set up for something that's going to happen later on in the series. But it's all opinion right now. I just don't think that we can say. I mean, obviously, I'm pretty sure Dustin has been using his titles for clickbait. Like, One Piece is finished. It's like, come on, dude. like we all know he's ODing on purpose. He's going overboard on purpose. You know, and again, you can't really fault him for his opinion. You know, it's his opinion of where he feels One Piece is at. Right now it's kind of slow, which I agree it is slow because it's the beginning of the arc. And I know one of the things that I saw him just say on Twitter is that, hey, y'all said the same thing about about Whole Cake Island. Just wait until the end. Well, Whole Cake Island has been one arc. Yes, it was 80 plus chapters. Yes, the ending, I'm right there with you, Dustin. The ending didn't make any sense. The end of the Katakuri and Luffy fight didn't make any sense. I'm right there with you. But that was one arc out of 915 chapters. I remember seeing people like Sawyer complaining during Dressrosa about these characters that AKA didn't matter. And then we got to the end of the arc, and then it got the Luffy Grand Fleet. And then when we got the Luffy Grand Fleet, oh, this is too soon. Well, what do you want? you complain that the characters don't matter. Then when Oda makes the characters matter, it's too soon. And I'm not saying Dustin did that, but I'm using other people as examples. But as I said, the arc is just beginning. If you're enjoying My Hero more than One Piece right now, I am too. I totally understand. But as an overall series, since I have like 14 plus years invested in One Piece right now, as an overall series, I enjoy One Piece more. It has more mysteries. It has more things set in motion for the end of the series than My Hero does with its 195 chapters. So I'll just say right now, let's just wait. Let's just see what Oda does. Obviously, I can't say, let's have faith, because this guy did just kind of, do a whole arc that really kind of led nowhere. But obviously, the conversations will continue. Again, just my take, my 2 cents. Take it or leave it. Anyway, y'all have a good week, a good rest of your day. Madara28, signing out.